Okay, grade 5, welcome back to English class. Prepositions. Remember what a preposition is? Please tell me. Oh, you can't. Tell me? Okay. Well, I'll tell you. Remember, a preposition is a connecting word that begins a phrase. Well, that doesn't tell you much, right? The object of a preposition is a noun or pronoun. So remember that. That's important. A preposition is a connecting word that begins a phrase. The object of a preposition is a noun or pronoun. Remember, we talked about the birds in the tree yesterday. I think you can see it. It's still up there. They never flew away yet. And so you use a prepositional phrase to tell, in this case, it tells where the birds are, right? Well, to give you an example, I'm going to give you another example of that, about using prepositional phrases. Right now, I am near the sink, right? What if I am over here? Now I'm not near the sink. That's not a prepositional phrase, but you could say I'm far away from the sink. What if I get in the sink? Oh, never knew it fit. Now I'm in the sink. It's pretty nice in here. Hopefully nobody turns the tap on. You could almost even take a bath. You just get your feet wet, but so now I'm in the sink. In the sink tells where I am, right? It's a prepositional phrase. What if I sit in the sink? Ooh, I might get stuck. Better not do that. So I'm near the sink, in the sink. You could even go under the sink. Kind of. Too fat for that. Near the sink, under the sink, in the sink, above the sink. Right? Now I'm on the sink, above the sink. It's all about the sink. Remember, the sink is the object of the prepositional phrase near, in, under, above. So now, in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about prepositional phrases used as adjectives. So let's go over to the board and let's talk about that for a little bit. Okay, we're over by our normal filming spot now. So hopefully you can read this all. But let's just walk through some steps here about prepositional phrases used as adjectives. So first of all, a phrase works as one part of speech. What part of speech? Today, that phrase is going to be an adjective, right? In this case, the phrase is going to work as an adjective. So you don't pick apart the phrase. You could do that, but think of the phrase as one part of speech. So an adjective phrase, in today's lesson, they're going to be calling them adjective phrases. They're still a prepositional phrase, but a phrase works as one part of speech. Number two, a prepositional phrase may be used as an adjective, like I said. Okay, so for example, to give you an example of that, it is called an adjective phrase, but that takes us on to number 3 already. It modifies a noun. So let's look at that a little bit. For example, this sentence: the teacher across the hall teaches music. So what is the prepositional phrase in this sentence? Across the hall, right? Because across is a preposition. So let's just go like this. Now, if this is an adjective phrase, like it says it is, how do we know? Remember, an adjective describes a noun or pronoun. So an adjective phrase is going to do the same thing. It's going to describe a noun or pronoun. Another word is modify. They use modify. So it's going to modify a noun or pronoun. So you want to find the noun or pronoun it modifies. But it usually takes us to number 5. An adjective phrase must come right after the noun it modifies. So that gives us a hint for finding the noun it modifies. We found the adjective phrase, the prepositional phrase. Now we want to find the noun it modifies. So if it usually comes right after the noun, what do you think the noun is that it modifies? What across the wall? You could ask yourself, who or what across the hall? Teacher, right? Notice how it's right before the prepositional phrase. So this modifies teacher. It tells which teacher. Number 4, an adjective phrase usually tells which or what kind of. Remember, an adjective can tell which, whose, how many, what kind of. Adjective phrases usually tell which or what kind of. In this case, it tells which, right? Because it tells the teacher across the hall. Which teacher? Are you talking about the one across the hall, right? You know, the one that teaches music? The teacher across the hall teaches music. Make sense? Good. So that is how you can pick an adjective phrase. Let's go on to the next one. The chair near the door is for you. So, pick out the preposition. What is the preposition? Remember, that's how you find prepositional phrases. Sometimes they play hide and seek and you can't see them and you have to find them and they're really quiet and then all of a sudden they jump right out in front of you and you can find them. In this case, near is the preposition, right? Excuse my dumb moves. But when you're here all by yourself, other than Mr. Ben, he's a nice guy. But when you're not here with your students, then you get kind of bored and you think of silly things to do, like jumping in the sink or something stupid like that. So, but I want you to get the point. To find the preposition first, let's call this prep. Prep. Preposition. Near the door. Notice how it's a phrase that kind of sticks out by itself. You can take that phrase away. The chair is for you. Still makes sense. The chair near the door is for you. More specific. And in this case, what is the noun it modifies? Chair, right? Why don't we circle the noun? Stands out more. So, chair is the noun that is modified by near the door. The chair near the door. It's not the chair in the sink. It's not the chair out in the hall. It's not the chair that you're sitting on. It's the one near the door, right? In this case, anyway. So the chair near the door is for you. So go and sit on it so it doesn't run away. So, remember that. An adjective phrase must come right after the noun it modifies. Notice how these come right after. Sometimes there's words in between, but it's usually pretty soon after the noun it modifies. And also remember, today we're thinking of prepositional phrases as adjectives. They modify nouns. Next lesson, you're going to be looking at adverbs. Prepositional phrases used as adverbs. That would probably mean they modify verbs, right? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. So the chair near the door is for you. Let's keep going. The boy in the blue shirt was riding the horse. Now here's something important to remember. An adjective phrase used... I start talking so fast I get mixed up. A prepositional phrase used as an adjective is important where you put it in the sentence. For example, first of all, what is the prepositional phrase in here? What is the adjective phrase? The boy in the blue shirt. In. That's a very common preposition. In the blue shirt. Was. No, was is a verb. So it's just in the blue shirt. I really want you to get this grade 5, so pay attention to the video. And if the video doesn't help you, then call me up and say, hey. So the boy in the blue shirt was riding the horse. Now, like I said, it's important where it comes in the sentence. Let's mix this sentence up. The boy was riding the horse in the blue shirt. So if we switch this to here, the boy was riding the horse in the blue shirt. That must have been funny. The horse in a blue shirt. Wonder what must have been a big shirt for the horse to wear it. There's my point, right? It's important where the prepositional phrase comes in the sentence. So watch that. So if you had the boy was riding the horse in the blue shirt, it wouldn't make sense. They'd laugh at you. the boy was riding the horse in the blue shirt. What a joke. The boy in the blue shirt. So it's the boy, right? This is the noun that's getting modified. The horse is not. Boy, horse, they're both nouns. How in the world do you tell which one is getting modified by the phrase? Well, you can switch the sentences around. The boy in the blue shirt. The boy was riding the horse in the blue shirt. Doesn't make sense. It could. I mean, you could make a blue shirt for a horse, but why would you do that? The boy probably was wearing the blue shirt. Maybe the horse was wearing a green shirt. So this is the noun that's getting modified. by the adjective phrase. Okay? One more. We saw, this is another example. We saw a moose on the way to church. Really? Did it have a Bible? Was it carrying its Bible? Did it have a family of meese? Moose? We saw a moose on the way to church. Now, this one might be common. You might hear people say this. I mean, you don't always see a moose on the way to church. It's really nice when you get to. But I've never seen a religious moose that goes to church. Right? If you stop and think about it, the moose is on the way to church, according to this sentence. But this person meant to say that we are on the way to church and we saw a moose while we were going to church. So what is a better way you could word this sentence? You could maybe put the prepositional phrase. Let's find the prepositional phrase first. On, right? On is a preposition. On the way to church. Well, I'll tell you something. In this sentence, there are two prepositional phrases. See this word? To. On the way to church. But we're just going to combine it into one. We saw a moose on the way to church. What if we put this phrase in front of the sentence? Would that make more sense? On the way to church, we saw a moose. That would make a little more sense, right? Then, we is getting modified. Who was on the way to church? We were. So let's draw it out. So we'd want to switch this around to make it correct. Let's put an X because that's wrong, because we didn't see a moose going to church. We saw a moose while we were going to church. So be careful how you place them. It's important to remember. Good. Remember, prepositional phrases can be used as adjectives that tell which or what kind of. An adjective phrase comes right after the noun it modifies. Remember that. That's your remember box. So read it again, and read it again to make sure it gets in your mind. And also make sure these prepositional phrases used as adjectives make sense to you before you go on to lesson 110, before you go to the next lesson. If they don't make sense, I think they will, but if they don't make sense, call me up and say, hey, this doesn't quite make sense to me. Can you explain it a little more? I'd be very happy to do that because I'm here at school and I have all kinds of time to help you out, but you probably don't need help. So have a great day, have fun doing English, and stay out of the sink.